then carbocation is formed, and carbocation is stable. That is why it is formed over here. Observe the reaction carefully. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Practice. Practice. It requires more practice than mathematics. Sadhvik, any problem? Sadhvik. Satvik.
Yes, sir.
Where are you lost? Are you in the class? Why? Okay. Do you have any problem?
No, sir.
Shashank,
No, sir.
any issue in the cleavage of ethers?
None, sir.
Vedang,
No, sir.
look, you got to practice. You need to practice more. Okay. You got to sit and write again. Observe why we are doing it. Okay. Why we are saying SN1 fashion. Why we are saying SN2 fashion. By cleaving the ether, cyclic ether. Okay. We wrote lot of reactions. If you observe carefully, there are a lot of reactions. We are writing everyone following a path, and that is the path is constant. Reaction may differ, but path will remain constant. If you look carefully, the path is always constant. That's what we need to follow. All right, seniors, you can go.
Sir,
Yes.
so should I send you that paper?
Yes, of course. Send me the paper.
Okay, sir.
Hello, everyone. So, how you are doing today? We're supposed to study periodic table, history of the development of the periodic table, right?
Yes.
They asked me to study
Yes.
something, but did you try?
Yes.
So, what was the first attempt? Okay, first tell me why we needed to develop the periodic table. Everyone is here, right? You all are here?
Yes.
Today we started our class.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, first tell me why we needed to develop the periodic table at all. Like, why we need periodic table? What is the need of the periodic table?
For better study of elements.
Since there were many elements that were discovered, to study them easily, we needed to organize them in a proper manner.
So why not before, like 15th century, 13th century? Why 19th century we required it? Hmm.
Elements were not discovered then, sir. But by
Yes.
19th century, we have discovered most of the elements, sir.
Okay, so what was the first attempt?
Triads.
Awareness
By
of-
John Cabrini.
And what was the triad?
Consisted of three elements, in which the middle element atomic weight was the mean arithmetic mean of the other two elements atomic weight.
And why it failed?
So because
make only three triads.
So not all the elements
do
were
not have similar properties.
Mm-hmm. Where it failed, basically.
It doesn't get accurate masses.
Where it failed, that is what I'm asking.
For elements which have more mass and less mass.
That it was also grouping those that did not have similar properties.
Mm-hmm.
It was not applicable to elements found in the same group only.
Yes, sir.
Actually, the failure was observed only when we came to transition. Okay. If you look carefully, the failure was observed only when we came to transition. Okay. What about after that?
Newland law of optics.
Mhm.
Law of octaves.
Hence law of octaves.
Law of octaves.
Is there anything called telluric helix? Have you heard about it?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Nobody have heard about it. What is AEBD Chen-Courtius telluric helix? Okay, so tell me, when was the Dobrnyan law of triad was developed?
1829.
Okay. In this meantime, in 1832, there was a telluric helix which was developed. Do you know about it?
No, sir.
So there was a French geologist named AEBD Chen-Courtius. Okay. Who developed the telluric helix, and he was almost right. After law of octaves, what was the law of octaves? Can somebody tell me what was the law of octaves?
When an
Every
element
eighth element
is
is the first element. That's
atomic
probability.
weight of the eighth and the first element was same.
When it was developed?
1865.
65.
(1865). So actually, what was the main statement?
Every eighth element had properties similar.
First element.
First element.
It's like the eighth musical note is the repetition of the.
First music.
First musical.
When it failed,
Beyond 20.
Transition, sir. In transition elements.
okay, after that law of octave, what came next? Yeah, Lothar-Meyer and Mendeleev periodic table was published at the same time, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But why Lothar-Meyer didn't become famous? I told you earlier also. Why Lothar-Meyer didn't become famous like Mendeleev?
So I could not take all the chemical properties into account.
Sir, Mendeleev took atomic mass, so Luther-Meyer took the boiling point, etc. Other
Mendeleev's was easy to understand and Lothar-Meyer, sir. Mendeleev's table was easy to understand and Lothar-Meyer's curve, so Mendeleev became famous.
So
Mendeleev's periodic table was famous.
No. There must be some other reason. Being easy is not one of the reason, right? If I say being easy,
He was already well known.
So Mendeleev's was more classical, like properly told, explained, but Lothar-Meyer's was not.
World population is whatever world population is. Let me tell you, 98-99% world population is idiots. Okay, Mendeleev periodic table was made for idiots. Lothar-Meyer was made for scientists. Lothar-Meyer periodic table was more scientific oriented as compared to Mendeleev periodic table. Okay, what about after Lothar-Meyer and Mendeleev? After that,
Modern periodic table.
so after that we have modern periodic table. So modern periodic table is also called what? It was given by
Henry Moseley.
Who gave modern periodic table?
Henry J.J. Moseley.
Then what? Bohr, Bury, Rung, Werner. They gave something else. Have you heard about it? Bohr, Bury, and Rung, Werner.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Mosley gave periodic law. Mosley gave
Periodic law.
Periodic law.
Periodic law.
Periodic law.
it was developed by Borbury Rung Werner only. All right, so let's see. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is called Duvernian's law.
Triads.
This is Duvernian's laws of triad. Okay. Lithium, sodium, potassium from group 1A, group 2,
Yes, sir.
group 17, group 16. Can you see? First and third, average second. Count it, count it. Do not believe on me, just count it. Take the average. And write it down. Done?
Yes, sir.
After Dovenier, we had telluric helix. So on a paper, elements were put diagonally and then they were rolled in a cylinder in the increasing mass. Okay. So they were appearing like this. This was what he actually gave. This was the first time some sensible people did some sensible thing. Not taking something like musical note. Okay, I will take some musical note. Say that Sare Gama Pada Ni Sa. No. He took actually atomic mass. And then he introduced the idea of the table. So actually, logically, the father of periodic tables should be the A.B.D. Chan-Cortius, who is not known to the scientific world or has been omitted from the history. If you read a bit history, then you will come to know that it was basically the telluric helix, which was the first, the tabular form, and it was the first time when the mass was used to classify the properties of element. So what will happen when you will do it like this, you will see the element of the same group will fall on the same line. When you will roll this paper up, you can see boron is down to the aluminium, beryllium is down to the magnesium. Can you see this? So basically he got this idea that, okay, if I will do something like this, if I will arrange the elements horizontally, I will see this. Did you get it? Now, think about like scientific world, like how the people are forgotten. Like people don't have even idea about it. Did you know about it? That someone called A.E.B.D. Chan-Cortius, and he was not even like a chemist. He was a French geologist who used to study the geology, and he was the one who actually introduced the periodic table. But alas, like just after Duvenier tried, like you see that it was introduced in 1832, much before that Mendeleev periodic table. But then it comes to Newland's laws of octave. So Newland basically his full name was John Newland. In 1865, he said that. Okay, and remember, all these periodic tables are failing in the transition elements. Okay, all these periodic tables are failing in the transition elements. Keep this in your mind. Where they are failing in the transition elements. Why they are failing in the transition elements? Because the mass as the atomic number as the atomic number increases over there, the mass, we see that in D block, it is very different. So let's see. We start from hydrogen. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Okay, we come here after sa. Okay. So start from here. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, again, sa. So here and here, these properties will be same. Which one? Hydrogen and the red one. Red, not the red one, just after that, the black one, that is the sodium. Eighth note now. You have 8. Sare, Dhamma, Padhani, Sa. And after that, you appear the sodium. But again, if you take, and this is what given by Newland, and if you see that chlorine, you see chlorine, potassium, calcium, chromium, titanium, manganese, ferrous, cobalt, nickel, something is wrong. Okay, so basically something is wrong. No, your whole concept was wrong. You tried to do classification, the basics of musical notes. Yes, some symmetry in the nature do exist, but basis of the musical notes, it's a little bit idiotic. But okay, musical notes, it's just like playing flute and thinking that elements will dance on your flute. No, nothing like that will happen. Elements are not that much idiotic. Okay. So after this, we had Lothar-Meyer periodic table. Consider Lothar-Meyer as the best brain who really worked very hard in the periodic table. Like the work he did was a kind of work which should be like appreciated, and his whole the work was stolen. Not the work, the idea was stolen by someone else. When I say someone else, that means not exactly, I do not say that idea was stolen. Just hold on a minute. Just wait a minute. All right, guys, just to hold for 5 minutes, okay? Someone is at the gate. I need to entertain. Yes, so let's talk about like what Lothar actually did. The work Lothar did was something outstanding in so many senses. Let me tell you why. The calculation of atomic volume at that time, somewhere in 1867, how will you calculate atoms volume and then plotting a curve with the atom volume and the atomic mass? It's a very difficult job, but he did it. He plotted the curve and he found out that atom with the same properties or the element with the same properties occupy the same position. Elements with the same property occupy the same position on the graph. Now let me tell you, which is the biggest or largest atom in the periodic table? Alkali metals.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what do you see over the periodic table? What are the largest elements? Helium, rubidium, sodium. Can you see the peak?
Yes.
So on the peak, you can see alkali metals are sitting over there. On the descending position, you can see alkaline earth metals. This is you have to keep in your mind here. Peak, maxima, alkali. Descending, alkaline. Ascending, halogens. Keep this in your mind. Maxima, alkali. Kirti, what happened to you? Why you are looking so dull and sad?
No, sir.
Your parents didn't feed you yesterday night.
No, sir.
Nothing like that happened to you. Nothing to worry, right?
Yes.
Everything is good until your parents are there to feed you. There is a roof over your head. Until you are getting all the concepts clear. The life of Lothar Meyer, think about it. It was very difficult. All right, so maxima, alkali, descending, alkaline, ascending. You see this ascending position. What you see on the ascending position?
Halogens.
Halogens. Ascending position, we have halogens. Now you see this line. What we have here?
Transition elements.
Transition elements. Right? That's all we need to know. Lothar Meyer proposed a curve between the atomic volume and atomic mass. When he plotted the curve, he found out that elements occupying the same position or similar position the curve have possess same properties. At the top, alkali metals were present. At the ascending position, mid of the ascending position, halogens were present. At the mid of the descending positions, alkaline earth metals were present. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
At the bottom, transition elements were present. I hope we are good, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, then why there is helium at the peak, sir?
For helium, it's a different story. Even you see lithium is not at the peak. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But one abnormality can, suppose, Sashi, are you perfect? Are you a perfect human being?
No, sir.
You must have some flaws. Right? Are you a perfect daughter of your parents?
No, sir.
Have you been a perfect child as they expected? Did they throw you out from your home? They didn't. They still love you so much, right? Just like that, we still love Lothar Meyer apart from having some abnormalities. Are you getting it? You will not throw him out, right? Come on. Let them have some space, right? Scientists are also human beings. They do work so hard. And what we are doing, we are judging them. We are so judgmental. We are judging their work on the basis of whatever we have. And we are not just judging them. We are giving our judgment on the basis of what we have just known, on the basis of what they said. Isn't it it's a tragedy. Let's learn to appreciate something like this is something phenomenal. Let's see the development of the periodic table. It's not a work of a one day. It's a century work. People tried. Eventually, this was not development of in a year. So science is not a development of a night that, okay, one night I will sleep and see some dream and I will wake up and I will write down a thesis. No, it doesn't happen like that. Nothing comes in dream and God comes and say, okay, now you will write holier than thou. What we have here is the periodic table based on the Mendeleev's periodic law. Okay, again, Mendeleev was also not perfect. He had so much shortcomings that when you will start reading the shortcomings of the Mendeleev periodic table, you will think, why the hell he even wrote periodic table? He should throw the periodic table in the dustbin. Have you studied Newton's laws of motion, like free body diagram drawing and everything?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, imagine if you don't know how to write free body diagram, will you ever be able to solve something questions like a rotational dynamics? No, you won't be able to. So it's just like a basis. We are trying to build something and then there is some shortcoming. Then again, we are removing that with the new theory and we are redeveloping the old concept to get something better and better and better. We'll keep developing it, will get better and better. So a sudden flux came in the discovery of the element back there in 1860s. The number of elements were very less or very less known. But since the advancement of the science came, the more and more number of elements were start existing in front of us, and it gradually started increasing. So from 17th century to 19th century, the number of elements at the time of Mendeleev, I think it was 62 or 66. Can you find it out how many elements were known at the time of Mendeleev?
63, sir.
Something like 60, something like
66.
Yeah, something in 60s were known. It doesn't matter. You just have to keep in mind something where 60s were known. How many we know right now? 118?
Yes.
Right now,
Yes, sir.
right now we know 118. So this continuous development of the science gave us so many other elements, like so many elements we were able to produce in the period, like lab. After 92, we literally produced the elements in the lab and we synthesized them. Okay, some elements we found later. So you see that here we are having a periodic table, that is the Mendeleev periodic table, and you can see there is something called group 8, and in group 8 we have 3 elements together: ferrous, cobalt, nickel, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, osmium, iridium, platinum. Okay. One more thing you will observe: hydrogen, helium, lithium, sodium, potassium, but then comes copper. Then comes rubidium, Ag, C, Au. Now this is a little bit creating nonsense. How come the copper, Ag, Au came with this group 1? We don't understand this, but this is what happened in the Mendeleev periodic table. Mendeleev periodic table was not like the modern periodic table we have. In the Mendeleev periodic table, we had the total number of total number of groups we had were 8. It was not 18. We never had group 1A and group 1B. So you can see hydrogen, lithium. Are you able to see? You can see hydrogen is here.
Yes.
And copper is also here. But we know copper AgAu belongs to, we know they belongs to group 11. Come on.
Yes,
You know.
sir.
You have to say yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's what we study, right? Copper
Yes.
AgAu, yesterday only I taught you how to find blocks, groups and period, right, Sashi? We did find group,
Yes.
blocks and period. So they all belongs to, they are called coinage metals. Remember, coinage metals. Together they are called coinage metals. Sometimes they might ask also in the paper in NEET, what are the coinage metals? So gold, copper and silver is used to make coins. You say, sir, no, nickel is also used these days. No, we became poor. Earlier we were rich. When we were rich, we used to have gold coins. But then we started exploding. We started using the resources of our biosphere. So basically, we started using all the resources. So we became poor and poor. We multiplied so many. So we had this pandemic. That is why we are no longer going to have coin which is made up of like gold and silver. But still, some part of the copper is used to make the coin which we use in day-to-day life. So, if someone asks you what is the coinage metal, you will say copper AgAu. They are called coinage metals. Group 11 elements are also called coinage metals. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
now you look at group 2. Beryllium, magnesium, calcium, zinc, strontium, cadmium, barium, and hydrogarium. Again, zinc, cadmium, hydrogarium comes to group 12, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Zinc, cadmium, hydrogarium comes to group 12. We know that. Are they transition elements?
No, sir.
No. Are they D block? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Feed it here. Where? Here. Feed it. Group 12 elements are D block because the last electron goes to D subshell. But I never excite copper electron. Natural filling is D9. Are you getting my point?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So zinc, cadmium, mercury are D block elements. Zinc, cadmium, mercury are D block elements, but they are not transition elements. So in group 2 we can see they are there. In group 3 you can see boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium are there, but apart from them we are also having scandium, then we are having yttrium, lanthanum, actinium. That means group 3, right? So group 13 is group 3 and basically group 3A and group 13. This 3 is also 13. Boron comes to 13 and remaining becomes 3A. So that is why 13 group is also written as 3A, 3B. Look, coming to that. I'm coming to that point. So, when you write scandium, and then you come to yttrium and lanthanum, this is your 3A group. And then you write boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. This is 13th group. But in Mendeleev periodic table, they were together. So now they become pain for us. So they are coupled together and called 3B. But this is old practice, which should not be 3, it's 13. Why we should be even using 3 and 13 together? It has been gone since long. We should also establish this practice, right? But you know, meth, eth, and prop. Meth, eth, and prop. 3 word roots do not have any literal except literally Greek numbers are there. Why? Because methane, ethane, propane names were so much used to have that we were forced to use the meth word represents one number. In organic chemistry, I will tell you the history that why we were forced to change. Like basically, if one we should use un, right? But we don't see diane, we see ethane. For propane, we should literally use triane. Just like for butane, we use butane because 4 is but. 5 is pent, so we use pentane. Why? Because old name was so much used. Like suppose that someone might have, okay, so Tejasvi, what is your name at your home? Like, what is your pet name? You know, your mom, dad might be calling you. Yeah. So suppose now your name Teju is so much incorporated everywhere. Everyone started calling you Teju so much that you got irritated and one day you changed your name. You say that, okay, no more Tejasvi Venkateshan. Call me Teju. Everywhere, in all documents, so that even a new person meets you, call you Teju. Why? You were comfortable with it. So that's what happened to meth et prop but. So meth et prop was not a word root. It was not representing any number. We forced it to be a number. In the similar way, group 3A and group 3B are still used. It should not be used. They do not mean anything. They were put together, but they do not have any sense to be right now with the same number, group 3A and group 3B. Okay. Well, you tell me, one is P block element, one is D block element. Why they should be together? Okay, so in group 4, let's come to group 4, carbon, silicon, titanium, again, germanium, so carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead, group 14 elements.
Yes, sir.
And also group called group 4A.
Yes, sir.
So this group 4A is germanium, not germanium, titanium, zirconium, hafnium will come group 4A. Yes. And rest of them will become group 4B, or better we say group 14.
Yes.
Are you getting the crux of this? But the merits were so much outstanding that it were overwhelming for us. The time it was given, like it was something in our hands, like we were waiting for centuries. And it was truth that we were waiting for centuries. Why first time we had something like, okay, all these elements are in the same group, that means they are showing the same properties. Their chemical and physical nature might be same, and yet they turn out to be same, most of them. Some species in the period intentionally and said that, okay, the gallium called Eka aluminium, it will be discovered later, predict the properties. And when the gallium was discovered, we found out that, okay, whatever he said, it was true. Why? Most of you know sine function, right? Most of you know sine function. Sine function comes like this, right?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is your 0, pi by 2. This is your pi. And this is your 2 pi. So after 0 to 2 pi, you can see again sine value start repeating itself.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we say that sine is a function repeats its own value on a period of 2 pi. That
Yes,
means
sir.
whatever the value of sine theta is there, sine theta plus 2 pi will be the same value. Because, come on, after 2 pi it will have same value. Here you are, after 2 pi you will be here. Same value. Here you are, after 2 pi you will be here. Same value. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we say that sine, we are getting late. You are having a next class. We will continue our stories tomorrow. Okay. Let me just wind it up. We say that sine is a periodic function. Okay. And the period is 2 pi. In the similar way, Mendel said that physical and chemical properties of the element is the periodic function of their atomic masses. You put in the increasing order of atomic masses. After a certain atomic mass, every element will have a certain period. After that atomic mass, it will have same properties again with the element. Did you get it? Just like sine function. Sine
Yes,
function
sir.
is a period of 2 pi. Atomic elements will have some atomic mass period. After that, again an element will come with the same properties. That will like just like same values. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Did you get the concept what actually we say? Because most of the times a student do say this, okay, sir, physical and chemical properties of the elements are periodic function of the atomic masses of the elements. They do not literally understand what actually it means. So this is what it means, that if you arrange the element in the increasing order of their atomic masses, after a certain atomic mass, again the repetition will occur of an element will come, which will show the same physical properties and chemical properties as the earlier element. Just like a sine function. Sine function repeats its value after 2 pi. Elements will repeat their properties after 8, 8, 18, 18, 32 atomic number.
Yes, sir.
That is called magical number. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay. So you will
Yes,
read all
sir.
study material. You have study material, right?
Yes, sir.
NCERT study material you read, and you will also read the drawbacks. You can go for your next class. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
I have a question like not related to this topic, but our previous topics.
Mhm.
When you said that they continuously exchange, I mean the positions, the electrons.
Now,
I
basically,
asked,
it's not the state, it's not the position, it's the state. Now, that is a quantum state.
yes,
They
sir.
don't change their quantum state. Everyone have their individual quantum state. They keep exchanging their quantum state, which is defined by NLM. Yes.
Sir, so you gave me the analogy that like as we eat daily, they also
Yeah,
like it's not one
that is just to fool that is just to fool your brain.
Yes, sir. But
Otherwise, you will never be able to convince yourself that how exchanging the position will make you stable. How you will tell yourself. Your brain needs to have example.
But like, where do they get the energy from continuously?
Actually, thermal energy. One of the example is the thermal energy from the room temperature. Another is that how the atom is formed. What do you think how the atom is formed? Have you seen the formation of atom?
No, sir.
I will show you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will show you how atom is formed actually. I will show you a video formation of atom, literal formation of atom, how it takes place. So you'll feel the energy, how energy is coming out from it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay,
Thank you,
guys.
sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
There was sort of a little bit internet issue. That is why it was not. Okay, now it is fine. We can start. Just 1 second. Can you see screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Someone asked me that the value of catalase is given different in study material. You just keep the value that I gave you. That is taken from one of the most authentic international book of the biochemistry.
Yes, sir.
1 second. Gap between. Classification of the enzymes we were discussing.
Yes, sir.
According to International Union of Biochemistry, 6 classes of the enzymes were assigned.
Yes, sir.
Out of them, 4 we have discussed already.
Yes, sir.
Now today's 5th. Class 5th is known as a 5 is known as a isomerase. You all are familiar with the isomerization. Isomerization means intramolecular shift. Intramolecular shift. No any kind of a change in the empirical formulae. Empirical formulae remain as such, just only shifting happened. Just for example, I have a compound X with A and B, and after reaction it convert into X, B and A? Tell me. Only just the position get changed na?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So you would like to call it that this is the intramolecular shift?
Yes, sir.
That's it. There is also three major classes. Three main subclasses are there. Isomerase, it lead to the change in functional group. Leads to change of functional group. For example, PGAL can be converted into dihydroxyestone phosphate. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You remember
Sir.
PGAL was the triose aldose sugar
Yes, sir.
and dihydroxyestone phosphate was the triose ketose sugar.
Triose keto sugar. Yes,
It
sir.
means aldehyde to ketone, ketone to aldehyde, change of functional group.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Next is a epimerase. Subclass epimerase. Epimerase leads to the change in anomeric changes, means anomeric carbon's position change, chiral carbon position change. Just for example, xylose is a 5-carbon aldose sugar and ribose is also 5-carbon aldose sugar. It means there is a change only into the position of the chiral carbon. Mutase lead to the change in the position of additional group. You are watching a chemical glyceric acid with the phosphate at the 3rd carbon.
Sir.
It means who
Yes,
is their
sir.
additional group? Phosphate is the additional group now.
Yes, sir.
If mutage will work, it convert into 2 PGA. Means phosphate shift from
3 to 2, sir.
Carbon.
3 carbon to third carbon to.
Second carbon.
So what is the change? Change in functional group? No, sir. Change in additional group? No, sir. Change in position of additional group? Yes, sir. So all kind of isomerase are clear to all of you?
So what is
Yes, sir.
chiral carbon?
Chiral carbon will be teach you in organic chemistry. Chiral
Okay.
carbon, anomeric shift, all these events you will study there.
Yes, sir.
Alpha carbon position is actually considered as a chiral carbon, the carbon which remains surrounded by all 4 other different valencies. That is actually called chiral. You will study about it. Don't you worry.
Yes, sir.
Now class 6 and last. That is ligase. 4th was what? Lyasage.
Lysis.
6th is a ligase. They catalyzing the endergonic covalent joining of 2 compounds. Means 2 compounds will join together, and this joining is energy releasing or energy consuming?
Energy consuming.
Energy consume.
Yes. We can say joining of carbon oxygen together, carbon sulfur together, carbon nitrogen together, phosphate and oxygen together, all these events. Just for example, you remember DNA?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
On one end of this DNA, we must remember, suppose this is one of the piece of DNA. On one of the end, there would be the presence of OH, and on another end, there would be the presence of H3PO4.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
This is another segment of the DNA. And here again, H3PO4.
Yes, sir.
Remember? Here, there. This is the withdrawal of water. Come on.
Yes.
And there is an involvement of ATP energy. And what we will obtain afterwards? One long molecule of the DNA. Understand or not? So joining together of the 2 DNA fragments catalyzed by ligase.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everyone understand? All the 6 classes. I suppose anybody given a name to you that 2172. So you can say now only one thing. This, what is this 2172? Is the enzyme commission number of any enzyme?
Yes, sir.
About this enzyme, you don't know anything, but you know about it. One thing confirm that this
Second.
enzyme belong to the
Second
transferases.
Transfer.
If this digit is a 5, then you can assume that it is an enzyme
Isomerase.
belonging to
Isomerase.
isomerase. So first means digit 1 means
Oxidoreductase.
oxidoreductase.
Oxidoreductive.
2 means
Transferase.
Transferase.
if first digit is a 3, then
Hydrolase.
if first digit is a 4, then
Lysis.
If first disease is a fifth, then
Isomerase.
understand everyone?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Now, structure of enzyme. Yes.
So what are the examples of enzymes for isomerases and ligases?
All these enzymes are the example, na beta? What are you doing? PGAL to DHAP when convert. What we call enzyme? Phosphoglyceraldehyde isomerase.
Yes, sir.
Mutase is the name of enzyme. And I already told you that the name of enzyme we will write in what manner? Substrate names, reaction name,
Yes,
and the
sir.
H suffix. So suppose pyruvic acid, sorry, phosphoglyceraldehyde is converting into the DHAP. What I can call? Isomerase itself, or otherwise phosphoglyceraldehyde isomerase.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now structure of enzymes. Structurally, enzymes can be classified in two categories: simple enzymes and conjugated enzymes. Simple enzymes made up of only protein. Simple enzymes are made up of
proteins.
only protein part. If any enzyme is